Hey, X-Men! This is Captain Yeet here with you for another X-Men 97 episode review. This is going to be X-Men 97 Season 1, Episode 10, titled Tolerance is Extinction, Part 3. So, let's get into it. I'm sorry for this episode coming out so late. I mean, it normally comes out late because the episode will come out at 3 in the morning. But this episode was 43 minutes. And I'm like, wow, that's the longest episode so far in this whole season. So, I'm going to need a factory reset my computer so I can go as long as possible. So let's see if I can get through everything. So the beginning of the episode starts off with Professor X and Magneto in a bar. And this is like one of the first times they ever meet. Well, before that, obviously the opening and stuff. But, nothing really new happening in the opening. So we see a young Professor X and a young Magneto talking in a bar before they both knew they were mutants. And Professor X looks the exact same. I mean, literally nothing looks different. Magneto does look different. He does look a little younger. I mean, obviously it's a younger version of them talking. But Professor X looks the exact same. So while they're talking, obviously, they don't both of them don't know that they're both mutants. So Charles is trying to give the idea to Magneto or Magnus that how mutants and humans can live together and all that other stuff. Magnus is like, nah, even if you were a mutant, that wouldn't work. Or, don't be spreading that. Trying to tell him to be careful to not spread that you're a mutant, even though you're not, since they both don't know. And he's going back and forth like that. Eventually, obviously, Charles, he gives Magneto information in his head. He goes, I'm a telepath. I am a mutant. He goes, well, I'm a mutant too. I can control metal. And he goes, see? We're both mutants. And we were so friendly with each other. That could happen for the rest of the world. What if I told other people that I was mutant too? Magneto goes, you should probably run and hide. Because back when I was a boy, when he was, in the Holocaust, we tried to show people humanity and tried to be nice to other people. And what they respond was tanks. The world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. It can never work. And this isn't just a flashback. They're actually inside the astral plane. While they're in that astral plane, they get older and they're newer, current looks. And Charles is trying to tell Magneto, look, we're in the astral plane. Now, either you can bring the world's orbit, like electromagnetic orbit stuff. I don't really know the specific, but the electromagnetic field that's around the Earth. Magneto set it off. You need to turn it back on. You can't just kill everybody on Earth like this. There's a ton of mutants down there that are going to die. What do you think they're going to do then? Magneto's talking about some in darkness evolution prevails. All those people are going to die. There's no evolution. Like I was thinking about that last week. I'm like, he always wants to protect mutants. But there's going to be a good chunk of mutants that are not going to go with him. And so what is he going to do then? He's talking about, evolution can prevail in darkness. They're going to die. They're not going to be able to evolution. Eventually, Charles says, you leave me no choice. So he has to take over Magneto's mind and force him to bring the electricity back to Earth. Well, the electricity plus the electromagnetic field back on. And he cut back into real time. And we see this beautiful animated scene of Magneto and Charles both fighting each other, with Magneto fighting him with his electromagnetic waves and Charles fighting him with his telekinesis mind waves. And it was a pretty good struggle until eventually Professor X, he won. And even I kind of like how even Magneto, he was like, wait, Charles, please. When he started to lose, it was too late. He was able to overtake him, bring the electricity back onto Earth and the electric magnetic field. We actually get to see some other cameos from other characters. So we get to see Daredevil. We also get to see Iron Man and Captain America sitting next to each other, next to the president. Iron Man looks kind of cool in this universe. I kind of like his outfit. Obviously, we've seen Captain America already, but he got a shield back. I don't know how he was able to find it up the road doing 1,000 miles that way. I guess he was doing a lot of walking because, that was episode 6. It's episode 10, so I guess that's plenty of time. We also see Doctor Strange and a few other characters. So let me put the towel back on the TV. So, after that, we cut over to Bastion. He has two upgraded forms this episode. I'll show you guys the second one, because the first one is just him from the last episode, just with more wires. So he was able to kidnap Beast, Storm, who else did he kidnap? Yeah, Beast, Storm, Morph, and what was that guy? Oh, Forks. I almost forgot his name. What was the other guy that was with them? He was able to kidnap all of them with Sentinels. And he's just mocking them about how mutants are disgusting and the scum of the earth. And he's trying to protect people by making these Prime Sentinels and stuff. Obviously, Beast is like, you're controlling them. They don't have free will. They're monsters. He's not trying to hear any of that. He's perfected them. He's helping them, curing them from the mutant disease. And no matter what they say, they're not really trying to hear anything. And then he starts to turn on all the Prime Sentinels because the electric magnetic wave is back online. So he can turn back on all the Prime Sentinels. So we see some other characters around Earth fighting the Prime Sentinels like Iron Man, Captain America, Daredevil. We get to see Black Panther. And he looks so cool in this universe. I mean, we've seen him in the original series. We also see him, I think we saw him like once in the background, but he has the cape. I love this version with the cape on. And we get to see Okoye too. We get to see them fight off some of the Prime Sentinels with Daredevil and some other characters in New York. We also get to see Cloak and Dagger too. I don't know too much about those guys, but we get to see them help out Daredevil in New York. Well, I'm saying it's New York, but I don't know if it actually is New York. But we get to see them help out Daredevil fight. And then we cut back over to Bastion, and he's asking Cable how many times did he go back in time to try to stop Genosa. And he doesn't want to say anything, but he's being mind controlled by Mr. Sinister, so he makes him. And he reveals that he went back in time 200 times to try to stop Genosa. And obviously, that's a fixed point in time, so he can't undo that, no matter what he does. If he does, then, well, all of reality would just shatter, like in What If, so he can't really fix that. And then Bastion starts to mock how he killed his mother, because remember, his mother was Madeline Pryor, the clone of Jean Grey. Starts to mock her that she died and she doesn't have the Phoenix and all that stuff. And then I just love this line from Cable. He's being mind controlled and he's trying not to talk, and he's like, shaking and crying because Mr. Sinister mind controlled him to push Jean into a river. So she's like drowning right now. And he's crying because, he just killed his kind of mom, basically. Both his moms are dead. And he's mocking his mom. And Cable goes, "How's your mother, huh?" I'm like, okay. I like that. I smiled so big when I saw that. That was pretty dope. So, while he's mocking Jean about dying and the moms and everything like that, out of nowhere, they hear like a bird screech. And they're like, what the, what's that noise? Like, where's that coming from? And then Cable goes, "Maybe you should rethink of what you were saying about my mom, huh?" We see the device they made last episode. I forget what it was. Actually, I don't think they gave it a name, did they? That thing they were going to put on Bastion's head to cut his connection to all the Prime Sentinels. And then he was able to grab it off of Morph last episode. This episode, he stepped on it and broke it. And we get to see it like reform and get better. And everybody's like, what is that noise? And they look up. And it turns out Jean has a little bit of the Phoenix still left inside of her. Now, after she does all of these cool attacks with the Phoenix and does this huge water firebird, and everybody's like, "Yo, let's go! She's back, baby!" After all that, she says the Phoenix is gone. So she doesn't have the Phoenix anymore, but I guess she had like a little, she said that the Phoenix is gone, but it was able to come back to her in a little burst to protect her son, Nathan, which is Cable, which was really sweet. She puts the device on his head. It completely turns off all the Prime Sentinels around the world. We get this one shot of Cloak and Dagger and Daredevil, which is really cool. Like I said, I don't know too much about Cloak and Dagger, but their designs in this show look pretty dope. I really like how they look. That's supposed to be Cloak, I'm assuming. Cloak, Dagger, and then, like I said, Daredevil's right there. So, after that, Jean, using the Phoenix, pulls Mr. Sinister to her, puts her hand inside of his chest, and we see like telekinesis DNA coming out of him because he uses like experiments and DNA from other mutants to keep himself alive. Because he was born like back in not the night, I think even before the 1990s, like the 1700s. I think he was born. He was born like way back in the day. He should not be alive. He does experiments and stuff, and she just takes all the DNA and mutants junk out of him. And when he falls to the ground, the mind control wipes off a Cable, and he's still alive, but he's super duper old. I mean, he's super old. He looks so disgusting. And look at this guy. So he could do something to himself to bring him back to how he normally looks to fight the X-Men again. But for right now, he's done. He's done for right now. They probably should have killed him, but the X-Men don't kill. But I mean, he is a problem, so they yeah, like I said, they probably should have killed him, but they didn't. So, Bastion, he gets back up. He takes everybody out. He grabs Cable's arm, rips it off him, beats him with it, and tells Cable that you saw for yourself. You cannot undo what I did on Genosa. I could have killed them in the most horrible ways imaginable, but I did it in like 14,000 seconds. Basically saying, yeah, I killed a lot of people, but I did it so quick. Who cares? That was like a mercy. Obviously, this guy is nuts. Killing is killing. And he grabs Cable's arm after he was done beating him with it, and he expands the metal, and the metal wraps around him, and then we get to see like a souped up version of Bastion, like Super Bastion, and he gains wings and everything. So they don't specifically call him a specific name. This is what he looks like. They don't specifically call him like, Super Bastion or like Evolved. Maybe in the comics he does have a name for this form, but in this episode they didn't give him a name for this form, so we just call him Super Bastion because he's a lot more super than usual. So we cut back over to Asteroid M. Logan, he's still on the bed healing from what Magneto did from ripping all the adamantium out of him. And Charles, Xavier, and Magneto is on an actual plane trying to put his mind back together, because when he did the whole mind... Well, he didn't mean to mind wipe Magneto, but he kind of did mind wipe him when he forced him to put the electromagnetic field back online. So his mind is all shattered. So he's going to stay inside of his mind and help him fix it. But if he can't fix it and it shatters, his mind was shattered too, since he's linked with him. He tries to tell everybody what he's doing, but obviously nobody is really down for that because it's Magneto. But obviously he has to save him. That's his boy. And he also can sense that Bastion is on his way here to take down Asteroid M. And Bastion said he's going to do that because Asteroid M is so high up in the air that if it falls, it's going to kill just about everybody on Earth. So a clean slate. Kind of wild. I mean, it's pretty wild. So that's pretty bad too. And it was kind of weird because not this. No, I'm thinking of something else. I just want to bring up a really nice scene of Cyclops. He leans down on Wolverine's bed and he goes, "Hey, don't make her cry. Do what you do best. Heal." I really like that because from what I remember watching the original series, I'm going to get married. Jean and Cyclops, Wolverine goes, "Hey, don't make her cry. Do what you do best." And well, I don't think he said that, but I just remember he said like, don't make her cry, and he said that here, Cyclops. So I'm pretty sure that's a callback. So I really like that. Anyway, Cyclops and the crew are getting ready for Bastion to come up here because he's in a souped up form, so they're really gonna have to all work together to take this guy down, and we get this really nice team shot. I love this one moment between Jubilee and Sunspot, where Sunspot goes, "I'm sorry for everything that happened. I kind of just really figured out how to use my powers yesterday, so if we're going to fight this guy, I might, and me and you, she smiles, and Rogue goes, "Hey, don't count us out yet. The odds may look bad, but the cards are always in the X-Men favor." I love that. I love that. Bringing the Gambit quotes in for Rogue. That was so sweet. I love when she did that. So that's the plan right now. Everybody on the ground, Beast, Storm, everybody are making their way up to Asteroid M. But before that, the group up here have to defend Asteroid M away from Bastion. So Bastion goes over to the gravity core of Asteroid M to destroy it. Rogue comes out of nowhere and she goes, "His name was Gambit. Remember it." Wham! Punches him straight in the face and he goes flying. And she just keeps punching. And she punches him out of Asteroid M into space. I was like, whoa, okay. You might be going a bit too crazy. You can't breathe in space. But in the original series, there was a part of the moon where you can breathe. Because the CR Empire that we saw a few episodes ago, they were fighting the X-Men. They were specifically fought on the moon in a specific spot where you could breathe. And she punches them over there. While she's still punching him, she thunderclaps him right in the face. I was like, ugh, that was nasty. That was nasty. And he got pretty torn up. But in this form, he can heal. So after he heals, let me just show you the amazing scene where she just punches him right in the face. And just keeps going, wow, just keeps going. over and over and over and over again on him. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about, especially the thunderclap. That thunderclap was nasty. Look at this. See, thunderclaps him right in the face. But like I said, after all that, he can heal. So after he heals, they start fighting again, but he can teleport in this new form. So he teleports behind Rogue and grabs her neck and starts to fly upwards, and he's like choking her harder and harder. I'm like, yo, is anybody gonna come in to do some backup? My boy Sunspot, he hits him once with like a, I don't know what his powers are specifically. I know it's like sun radiation or something like that. I don't know what it is specifically, but he hits him with like a bolt of fire or whatever this stuff is. And he goes, Roberto Acosta, the disown heir. He goes, call me Sunspot. Has a better ring to it. He looks cool in this form, man. I don't know what his powers are specifically, but he looks so dope. I mean, he looks so cool. And he starts fighting him. So we cut back on the ground, and all the cities around the world are looking at Asteroid M and the fight going on. So they're thinking Magneto is trying to kill all of humanity and stuff. Obviously, that's not what's happening. And the president wants to do the Magneto Protocol, which are a ton of missiles to shoot down Asteroid M. T'Challa calls in to the president and tells him, hey, we don't know what's going on up there. We don't know what Magneto was doing. So shooting those missiles may cause more harm than good. And Captain America backs up his boy like, yeah, he is right, yes sir. Maybe we can just wait. And especially because the X-Men, he literally, that gets me. Professor X and the president was talking last episode. He said, let us handle this, please. He said, I got you. Mutants and me, we're tight. And the electromagnetic field was able to turn back on. Now, the Sentinels were going crazy a little bit before they were able to shut them down. But the electromagnetic field is back on. So that means, X-Men are doing good. But no, they shoot the missiles anyway. So we cut back over to the astral plane where Professor X is trying to piece together Magneto's psyche. And he starts to somewhat piece it back together in a really nice conversation they're having. I'm not going to do it justice. I say you should go watch the episode because I'm really not going to do it justice. So I'm just trying to say it. But it's a really nice scene between them. And he was bringing up other people that he's trying to help in the past that also have a dark past, like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver or Rogue. But eventually, when he tries to remember what his mom and dad's face looks like, he can't remember it because he was just a really young kid when they got killed in the Holocaust. So he can't remember their faces. He doesn't know that. So a bunch of water just rushes in an astral plane to drown them in the mental stuff that's going on. Eventually, we cut back over to Bastion, Super Bastion, and while he's fighting, he starts to fight Nightcrawler, because Nightcrawler, he teleports him back inside, and he just keeps teleporting around him, and then we get to see Cyclops and Jubilee hit him also. He eventually able to catch Nightcrawler while he's teleporting around him and hitting him from all angles, and then, one of the dopest scenes in this episode, Cyclops, he stepped up to the plate, and he starts fighting him hand to hand. And I was like, okay, Cyclops, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that was so cool. And then Bastion shoots out a beam out of his mouth. And then Cyclops obviously clashes with his beam, with his eye beam. And then he starts to, so the beam that Bastion doing is pretty strong. So he's like, it's struggling. And Cyclops goes, you're never going to hurt my family again. And his eye beams get gigantic and boom, slam Bastion into the wall that way. And they got that powerful with his visor still on. They get way more powerful when he takes them off. That was a dope scene. I love this. You're never gonna hurt my family again. Man, oh man, that was dope. So Bastion, he's able to get back up and heal, obviously. Like, jeez, man. He's able to heal, and he makes these little blasters on his back, and he shoots Cyclops in the face and takes him down. Jubilee was able to use that disc fireworks move that her older version showed her in a video game and slices Bastion's wings off. And Bastion makes a joke that, what are you going to do, hurt me with the 4th of July? Jubilee goes, that's funny. I never heard that one before. She jumps up to him. He throws an attack out. She dodges it, but still hits her face and her glasses crack. She grabs his face, shoots up fireworks in his face, and throws him to the side and goes, see you later, sleazeball. I was like, ugh, my girl Jubilee, that's what I'm talking about. Right in his face. And finally, now he does heal from this, but you can see his face is not all the way healed. So they're actually doing some damage that's going to stay. So he can heal, but it's not infinite. As you can see, his face is still pretty messed up. But it's not infinite. His face, well, I just said the same thing like 3 times. He can heal, but it's not infinite. So he starts to mock them about saying, you call yourselves a family, a team. You guys are nothing but a bunch of rejects trying to stay together. And he sees a sentinel come in. He goes, this is my family. And the sentinel just stomps on him. And it turns out that's Beast and Ford. Well, not Beast. It was Beast, Jean, and Storm inside the chest. And he keeps trying to pick up the chest. Not pick up the chest. Bastion tries to pick up the sentinel. Beast is putting more power into the sentinel to push it down on him. And then we see all the other X-Men gearing up to fight him, to jump him with one last barrage. I'm like, yeah, here we go. I'm like, yeah, let's jump this guy. Cyclops looks at Rogue, swipes the blood off her face, and he looks at Jubilee and Sunspot, and they flare up. I'm like, okay, the old and the new, they're finna jump this guy, let's go. But then Scott goes, no. We have to do what we've been trying to make humanity do for all these years. We must forgive and help. I was like, oh, okay. I understand that. I mean, yeah, that's really nice. At the same time, I would have liked just a good old beat down. I would have liked that. But that was really good. Like the fact that they've been telling humanity for all these years they have to forgive mutants or try to bond with them and live with them and not just fight them all the time. And obviously Cyclops wants to practice what he's been preaching. So he tries to tell Bastion that his mom didn't want him to come to the X-Men. She lied to him. Because Professor X tried to help him come to the X-Men, but his mom said that they were monsters and they hurt people. Bastion isn't really trying to hear it, and he's just laughing at him, saying you really want me to join your family, your group of freaks, after I just kill a ton of your friends and try to massacre them and stuff like that. Obviously Cyclops is like, come on, let's do this together. Rogue isn't really about this, but hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. But then the missiles come in, like I said, the Magneto Protocol. And then he goes, see? Oh, wait, I forget. Somebody, I think Jean was like, people are having babies just like us out there. And then Bastion goes, the truth is, nobody wants a kid like us. Just look for yourself. And then the missiles come in, and it blows a hole in the side of the I was gonna say the Magneto. It blows a hole in the side of the asteroid. And a ton of people get, Jean makes a psychic field to block everyone. Cyclops does try to reach out his hand to help Bastion, but he just scoffs at him and jumps into the explosion. So the fact that he scoffed might mean he survived it, but at the same time, that's a pretty big explosion. He was already starting to not heal, so that probably killed him. But I don't know, it was the fact that he scoffed made me think, I don't know. So Jubilee gets sucked out, but my boy Sunspot, yeah, he was able to jump down, fly out, and grab her. And he goes all the way to the ground, where everybody else tries to figure out a way to stop the asteroid from falling down. Because if it does, it's going to kill a huge chunk of people. I mean, a huge chunk. So that's pretty bad. So they all make up a plan to combine their powers to stop the asteroid from falling. Rogue is going to go to the bottom, use all her strength to try to push it up. Jean and Storm do some sort of weather wave technique, a weather telepathic wave technique to push it up. Cyclops shoots his laser beams into the engine to restart the thrusters. While all this is going on, Jean psychically talks to Cable, because he's on the ground, he's still healing because he got his arm ripped off. I mean, it's robotic, but it still hurts. You get the nerves and stuff. So while they're talking, she shoots an astral projection from her and Scott to him. And obviously they apologize for not being able to raise him in the past or in the future and stuff like that. They were just trying to save him. Cable understands, but he was also mad that whenever he heard folk tales of the X-Men from the past, he was always mad that he wasn't in them because he should have been raised in the past, because that's where he's from, and fight alongside them. And obviously they tell him that he loves them and that he has Scott's eyes, and he shows him the eyes too, which was so nice. And then the very last sentence between them, Cable just looks and he goes, man, those stories didn't do you guys justice. I'm like, oh, that was sweet. That was so sweet. I really loved that, man. Those stories I'm gonna rewatch this episode. That was such a sweet line. Eventually, the astral projections fade away because they're trying to, stop the asteroid from falling down. I really like that one scene between Storm and Jean doing whatever that kinetic storm wave thing was. I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you're supposed to call that. Whatever that was, I love it. See, look at this. This is such a beautiful animated scene too, combining. Eventually, we cut back over to the astral plane, and Professor X is able to break through to Magneto to make him remember everything. And oh yeah, I forget. Morph turned to Jean to talk to Logan. He was like, remember, what was the name that your parents gave you? Your name that's destined to do greatness, that can do whatever. That's not what he said specifically. Like I said, I'm not going to do it justice. But basically, Magneto is able to repair his mind. He wakes up fully in the real world, and he goes, Magneto! Finally, he said Magneto. Because in the original series, and even here, they always just call him Magnus. Wait. I think they have said Magneto, but I don't think he said it him personally. But he goes, Magneto lives! And he grabs Asteroid M, floats it up to the sky with ease. All the other X-Men, I'm like, shoo, thank goodness, that nearly killed me. That was ridiculous. But as soon as it goes all the way up in the sky, it just vanishes. It dissipates in the thin air, in a bunch of little cubes or balls. Look at this. Look at it. I'm never playing. Oh, okay, hold on. I don't want to get copy screwed again. Straight. So look at this. Okay, now. So it just goes up in the air. Boom! It just vanishes in the thin air. And everybody watching like, what? Like, what just happened? I was like, what in the world just happened? It just dissipated a ton of cubes. We got over to Forex trying to figure out where it's been, what happened to the X-Men. On the news, it says it's been about 6 months. And Bishop, he comes in to talk to Forex. Obviously, Forex doesn't know him yet. He knows him in the future. And Bishop says that it's not where the X-Men were sent. It's when. This isn't the first time the X-Men have been quote-unquote dead. Come on, we gotta work together to find them. And he still has his short hair. Hopefully in season 2, he has his long hair. Because that's been confirmed that season 2 and 3 has been confirmed. I don't know about the season 4, but 2 and 3 have been confirmed. So, we cut over to Egypt in 3000 BC. Rogue, Nightcrawler, Beast, Professor X, and Magneto have all been sent to Egypt 300 BC. We see a bunch of Egyptian guys jumping somebody, and that guy is Apocalypse. That is bad. And they're helping him out, too. So, messing with the past is bad, because that does affect the future in this universe. That's number 1. Number 2, if they help, hopefully they can figure out this is Apocalypse in season 2 and kill him. Because if you kill him, future Apocalypse is gone. So that's good, too. But he does look, I'm gonna lie, he does look kind of cool here. His design before he's Apocalypse does look cool. Then we got over to Scott and, Cyclops and Jean, and they're in the future in 3920, and they come over to like a random group of people, and this group has Nathan, a little kid Nathan. So they're like, yo, this is, I guess they could raise him, but they raise him, then that means the Nathan that we know wouldn't exist. So yeah, this is bad. Like, messing with the time is pretty bad, and I don't know who did this, because somebody had to specifically do this at the specific moment. Who? I guess we'll find out in the future, but we don't know who did this yet. And that's everybody accounted for, besides from Morph and Wolverine. Morph and Wolverine are only X-Men that were on Asteroid. Well, they were on Asteroid M, but we don't get to see where in time they got sent. So those are the only 2 X-Men unaccounted for. And this is what Apocalypse looks like when he has a scarf on. But obviously when he takes his scarf off, you can see, I forget it, like cuts and stuff. I'll just turn it back. Yeah, because I was just going quick. Okay, yeah, here we go. So hopefully they can figure out that. And then there's an after credit scene. Normally there hasn't been any after credit scene so far, but this is after credit scene, and it's a regular Apocalypse. This is what Apocalypse looked like before he takes his mask off. And here, even Professor X read his mind, and he doesn't say, "Oh, it's Apocalypse." But obviously he's not Apocalypse yet, so obviously you can't sense that in his mind. So yeah, that just doesn't make any sense. In the very last scene of this episode, with the after credit scene, it's regular Apocalypse in modern day. He's at Genosa, and he goes, so much pain, so much misery, and he grabs some dirt in his hand, and he goes, so much death, and he grabs one of Gambit's cards. Now, I heard in the comics that Gambit actually does become the death person, or one of the four horsemen for Apocalypse, specifically Death. So I guess Apocalypse can bring it back to life. They have to fight him, which is going to be heart-wrenching. And he can eventually get the mind control off him. He can join the X-Men again, which is good. The only problem is the main heavy hitters for the X-Men are stuck in time. Maybe this was Apocalypse, but he doesn't have time travel abilities, so I don't know. So that means the people that have to fight him are like Jubilee and whoever the X-Men now, or X-Factor, they're still here, right? Whew, man, I cannot wait till season 2. This episode was so dope. This whole series was so dope, man. I remember before X-Men 97 came out, a couple dudes at my church were like, yo, Captain Yeet, you gotta watch the original. So I did. I actually really liked the original. I watched all seasons. I watched all 5 seasons before the original, before X-Men 97 came out. But when X-Men 97 came out, the first 2 episodes, I was like almost a day late. And I was like, I don't know if I should. I wanted to review 97 episodes. And I was like, well, I'm so late, I guess I'm not gonna review them. But then I started laying down. I was like, yo, I watched 5 seasons for what? And these are my boys. Like, I want to talk about what I love. And I was like, it's even funny. I was laying down on my futon right here, and I got up like, no, I'm doing this. So I recorded episode 1. I did it. I woke up at like 3 in the morning before I had to go to school on Thursday. I did episode 2 because they released 1 and 2 back to back. And then I go, okay, I can just chill. And ever since then, I stay up till 3. And I'm here for you guys. Like, I got to talk about X-Men 97. I don't know where I'm going to be at because I should be able to finish community college soon. So I might be in college at a university. I might still be here. Maybe internship at whatever I want to do. So I don't know where I'm going to be at when season 2 comes out. But season 1 was dope. I love it. Amazing animation. These guys did a good job. I cannot wait till season 2. Season 2 and 3 have been confirmed. We don't know how past that. Who knows? But but season 2 looks like it's going to be a doozy. Most of the X-Men are stuck in the past and the future. And Apocalypse is coming back. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. So I guess let's see what happens. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I think all of them would be wonderful human beings. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. All right.